Okay. Okay. So R, I team this data analysis with R for beginners. So it's about analyzing data using R. So I felt I should start with just a brief description of what data analysis is about. Data analysis uh, for data analysts is about how to understand data and how to understand analysis. So first of all, you must understand the data, and then you'll be able to organize it. By organizing, um, like when you do your research, you may write down the data in using pen and writing, but when it comes to analysis, you know that there is a way the data has to be written in a way the software will understand. So that is to organize the data. Then we have cleaning. So you should know how to clean data. By cleaning data, it involves a lot of things. Um, you would know how to uh, look at the data and be able to spot out maybe outliers or missing values. Sometimes you may take your results from the experiment or from the field, but when you look at the data, you find that some figures are way beyond. So those figures definitely something may be wrong. They might be correct, but they might be wrong too. So cleaning involves having to take a second look at the data to be able to understand it and know what to do with it, whether to remove it or whether to go back and check again, whether there was an error, and then you modify it to be correct. Because if you use data that is not clean, it could affect your analysis. Then we have transformation, transform data. To analyze data, you should also know how to transform data because some data, like we have what we call long data, then we have short data. Uh, sometimes you just like
I
how
don't
to.
know if it's sorry, Dr. Yain, sorry.
Okay,
I don't know if it's my network or your network. I lost you, like I had to rejoin, and then now your voice has gone low again.
okay, Dr. Mani, could you confirm, please? Do you have similar experience?
I can hear you clearly. I didn't lose you at any point. Maybe it's your network, Dr. Basa.
Sorry, Dr. Basa. I think yes. Okay, Dr. Basa, sorry, I think it's your network. Sorry about that,
No
but
problem, no problem.
there is it's recording, so it will still be available afterwards. I'll share the link. So to transform data, sometimes you may need to put it in a form that even after organizing, some analysis will require you to move the data in a different format. So you still need to know how to transform your data into different forms. Sometimes it may even require mathematical transformation. Because sometimes if you have data that are too far apart, sometimes you may have to do a log transformation to bring them closer together so that you'll be able to better see trends or patterns on the data. So it's also something to still learn about ways of transforming data, whether you transform the data mathematically or otherwise. Then we have data exploration. So this is where you can use different means to explore data, be it using mathematical techniques, maybe a mean, median, standard deviation, standard error, and maybe all those statistical analysis, whether chi-square, ANOVA, there are many of them to use. Then how to model data. Modeling is the other higher parts, which I myself am yet to grasp it because it's really, really one that one needs to learn. Then uh, how to visualize your data. Sometimes you may have a large data that you can't even see anything if you look at the data on its own. So sometimes you need to put it in a form that you can see something from it, maybe in terms of graphs for the data. Then to analyze data, you need knowledge of mathematical techniques, as I earlier said, mean, median, standard deviation, standard error, and you should know when to use which. You should know which one is best, depending on what one data is about. If for example you have categorical data, the data that is not numerical, you know, maybe male, female, tall, short, you won't use mean, median, mode. That's where you may use things like frequency, classes. So you should have knowledge of this to also undergo analysis. Then we have the statistical techniques, as I earlier mentioned. There you have all these chi-square, ANOVA, t-test, regression, correlation, name it. You should be able to understand, normally distributed data. You should also understand something like parametric statistical tests, not parametric statistical tests, and how you can make your data that is not parametric to be parametric, depending on what you want to achieve. So you also need that knowledge. So in essence, what I'm saying in essence is that we are doing data analysis with R, but it's not standalone. Like you still need knowledge of other things for you to really do this well, because if you're deficient in any area, it will limit what you can do with R, limit what you can, it's just like AI, garbage in, garbage out. The less you know, what to feed into it, and the less it to bring out for you. So you may have some data and you analyze it, you just get small inference from it. Someone else will analyze that data and bring out a whole lot from it. It's about what the person knows and knows what to extract from that data. Yeah, so of course we have logical data, logical knowledge, what to do with logic, true, false. These are all Boolean values. Knowing how you can tinker with Boolean knowledge to extract some things from data. Then we have infographic, of course, is about data visualization. Then computational techniques. So basically, the aim of data analysis is to uncover patterns, trends, relationship, and anomalies from data. So coming to what we really want to do, we want to see how we can use R for data analysis. So briefly, R is just a free and open source programming language. So you see the word, the phrase programming language. So R is not like our conventional, maybe Excel, GraphPad, SPSS. Though SPSS has a certain amount of programming that you can do. Yeah, so in that aspect, R can be similar to SPSS. But SPSS, I'm trying to remember the word they use for that part in SPSS, where you can code, can use SPSS coding to run your analysis. So that is what R is about. So R, you will not find all those maybe click this to get this done. It's about using words. So how are you able to use words? Because the computer recognizes words to get what you want done. And R is free. That's one thing about it. It's free and it's open source. And this open source is what makes R unique, because open source means that the developers of R made it open, such that people can further tinker with that source code and enlarge it. And that was what has made R so robust, because people have been able to, as I said in some points, it has a large community of R developers and programmers. So this large community has really made R so wonderful that it can do a whole lot, even more than what the people that first designed it envisaged. Now it's been so expanded that it can do so many things, because people have designed new scripts just as we even said before we started this course, there was R, which first downloaded before I downloaded the RStudio. So it means that people developed the RStudio to now work with R. So it has been further expanded to have a more graphical user interface. And that's what makes R wonderful. So R is used mainly for data analysis. So as I earlier said, in fact, in your computer, in your apps, you will see R as a separate application. Then you see RStudio as also a separate application. But the R you see is now limited to a small portion of RStudio in the environment. So it's just this place here. I'll explain later what I mean by that. So the RStudio is like, in fact, it's called an IDE, that is an integrated development environment. So it just makes R more flexible, and you can work with RStudio even with Python, Java, and similar other languages that can integrate with R. So looking at the RStudio interface, the RStudio interface, it actually has 4 parts. The first one, which has been highlighted here, is the source pane, the source part. You also called scripts. So that's where you can write your lines of code or scripts, as the case may be. And that is where our focus will be on this one. In fact, that is what I know. R is capable of much more than this, but my knowledge is restricted to the R scripts. So so we will do a lot of R scripting, R coding. So that's where you can write your lines of code that the computer, that the R understands, can interpret, and give you what you want. So for the R scripting, to run any line of code, you press Control and Enter, and it will run the line of code for you. And then we have the down parts, which is the console. And if you remember, I told you that that is actually the R itself. Yeah, if you open the R app on its own that separates from the RStudio, what you find there is similar to what is on this place called console. And in fact, if you look at the console, you see where they write the R version. So on this one that is here, this is the R version 4.4.2. And even here, you can see the console, the terminal, and the background jobs. So these are various parts. Like this terminal is similar to what you find in Ubuntu systems. So it tells you how far our developers and programmers have gone to expand R to work with different programming languages and interfaces. So unlike the R scripts or R source pane, in the console pane, to run commands, you just press enter. So that limits the console. So that means you can't really write long lines of code, that have lines on the console. So that's why the R scripts become important. So you can write your lines of code in the R scripts and can execute it from there. But if you wish, you can also execute your commands from the console, where you can just type and it will give you your output. So when you run your script, it will still show in the console as it executes the commands that you put. So there is need to understand R very well. This may seem like theory, but by the time you start R scripting and you start doing deeper and bigger things in R, and then you now want to involve AI, because AI can help you a lot in R scripting, in R coding. So, and our AI understands these things. So by the time you use those words, AI will better understand what you want and break it down for you. Unlike when you don't know how to describe things to AI as you interact with AI. So they need to understand these basic things about R, for you to be able to go further and discuss R with AI or with other R programmers as well. So on this console too, you can use the up and down arrow keys to recall previous commands. So it saves in R. So if you press the up button in the R console, it brings up your previous commands. So and then if you press down, it also brings your later commands. Then for your scripts, yeah, I forgot to mention this for scripts. Uh, you can, as you write your scripts, you can save them. Yeah. So there is a save option for scripts. That is why our scripts, uh, you can write your scripts and send it to people. In fact, if you analyze your data using R, you can make your R scripts public and open for people to replicate the analysis that you did using your R script. So you can save it, and then you can also fold your R scripts. By folding, I mean you use the hash uh, the hash key. You use hash to make your comments in R. Like if you look at this console, like here they said, save the plot as a PNG file. This is not an executable line of code because the computer does not understand what this means. This is not a computer language. It's not an R language because there is a hash here. If you look well, so you can see a hash here. So whatever you write with hash after it, R does not recognize it. It only sees it as a comment. So the app allows you to write comments. Therefore, you can use the comment to explain whatever a line of code that you are describing. And then if you want to create sections in your script, you put hash for at least 4 hashes after it. With that, it will create a section. I'll show you that later. It wasn't shown, it's not shown in this script. Then the next pane is the environment pane. So here you can find your R objects. So in R objects, you can save things in R and it remains within R. So later you will get to understand better. There are things you can save in R objects, be it values, be it lists, be it data frames, a whole lot of things. You can save them in R. So find them in this environment tab under the environment pane. Then we also have the history tab here. It shows when you click it, it shows you everything you've done so far in R, and it saves. Then we have the collection on editorials. You can also click them. I don't usually use these two, so it's worth exploring. Then we have the output tab here. There are many tabs. There are many tabs in this output pane. We have the files. We have plots, packages, help, viewer, and presentation. So here it shows you your outputs. Maybe if you code a graph to be drawn, R brings it out here under plots. And under these plots, you can further zoom it by pressing zoom. It will open it in a different window and people get it enlarged. So this is just, and then packages, if you click packages, you will see different packages in R. Packages are also what expands R because that's people design packages for different purposes. Maybe like there are packages that can use to draw maps, packages that can use to draw graphs, specific graphs. So these are under packages, and you learn all these things. You have to first install the package in R. But that's why I encourage us to install the R tools, because the R tools will help you to ensure that these packages work with your R software. So in terms of R, there are different types of data. We have the numeric data. So R recognizes numbers. So you can do a lot of mathematical, statistical operations in the R. R can recognize numbers, even complex numbers as well. R recognizes them. R also recognizes logical values, that is true or false. R also recognizes characters or strings, be it small letter, capital letter. But that's why R is also used for genomic, what do you call it, to analyze genomic sequences, be it the genomics, proteomics, transcriptomics. R can be used to analyze such data because it can work with characters as well. Then for data structure in R, there are many data structures. We have vector, factor, list, matrix, data frame, arrays, and much more. But for this um, class, we will focus more on vector and data frame. Yeah, those are the middle ones that we see, we encounter more often. We also do some factor and lists, as the case may be. But the one that will concern ourselves more are data frames. Data frames are the ones that are most common, that is more flexible because it's quite robust. Okay, so I think we need to just go straight to R so that we can start up. I'll send if an R script to the group, which I hope we will all download and open. I was supposed to have done this before now. Okay, so but so far, sorry, this meant to be interactive. Are there any questions so far? Please feel free to help me at any point with any question, uh, because it's supposed to be beneficial, so that it won't just be a one-off thing. So please, any question or comments from anyone? Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, I have a question. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay. You talked about data cleaning prior to talking about R. I was just wondering to what extent or what exactly do we do? Okay, you have so many outliers. Do you take them out? Do you replace them with other numbers? I'm just really wanting to understand what data cleaning is about.
Yeah, that is a nice question. So outliers, there is a lot to do with outliers, and it depends on how much you understand the outliers. So in essence, you must have to understand the outliers in the data and how they came about. So you know that these outliers are due to errors, or if they are real data that's is due to biological differences, and you may decide to keep. Sometimes outliers could be some subtle errors in your data collection, which you may want to tinker with. Yeah, it's something that I might refer to as ethical data modification. You know, let's say, for instance, maybe your experiments, maybe you are taking weights, for instance, of animals. And at one time, maybe the animal weights were between 40 gram, 30 gram, 50 gram. Suddenly you saw data 400 gram, 200 gram, 200 gram. And of course, you do with the data some time ago. It's not when we are keying them in that you saw that, this is too high. What happened? So you may not think, okay, likely I may have added a zero at the end of it. Maybe when I was doing it. So I think the error may be due to some errors of adding zeros during the time of taking the data. So such ones, you can modify those outliers and remove those zeros. And yes, you have modified data, but it's ethical because you understand where the error came from. So clear data, sometimes if it is so extreme, I can't understand where it's from. It may actually delete those outliers. So that's what you can do with such outliers. You can delete outrightly, or you can modify for such kind of data. Yes.
Thank
So
you,
I
sir.
don't know if I answered the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, and also if anyone else has any other opinion on this data cleaning, please uh, feel free. We are available. We all learn. Not as if I know it all. So we can all learn what you understand from the data cleaning. Okay, I've just sent a file to the group. I think you can open it. So I don't know if my screen is still visible. Hello. Uh, we have barely 27 minutes. So can you all see my screen, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what can you see, please?
Data structure.
Okay. So I hope you've all seen the file I sent on the group. So I'm trying to open my RStudio now, and okay. So can you all see my RStudio? Hello, are we there?
Yes, we can, sir.
Okay. So if you can see my RStudio, I use a dark theme, so you can actually still change your theme in your settings to dark. Here, I hope you can see my cursor on the R script, the source pane.
Yes, sir.
So okay, so this is the RStudio environment, and you can see that there are for the top one I wrote our tutorial designed by Dr. Hani Capital, and I used 4 hashes before and after, and that down here, can you all see my pointer?
Yes.
Okay, so here
Yes,
you
bro.
can see. Okay, so you can see our tutorial designed by Dr. Hani Capital. So here you can see I sectioned these are scripts that I've shared with you all on the group, which is here is open here. So you can see the sectioning, because anyone I used at least 4 hashes at the edge, it gets sectioned here. And of course, you can see there are different colors of things that are colored. The ones that are purple here are the ones that are comments, because R will not execute those ones. So you can also see in my environment here is empty because I have not saved any objects yet in R. And so to save objects in R, we use this sign. So you can see this is X, and then a less than sign, then a hyphen, then whatever I want to save in R. So it simply means that if I execute this line now, I will create an object called X in R. And what will be in that object is simply the number 5. That's what this line 5 means. So to execute this, I can either press Control Enter with my laptop, or I just come here and click Run. So if I click Run, you can see below here it has run. You can see it's the line of code being executed, and it was done safely without any error messages coming up. And in my environment, you can see X here, and you can see 5. So if I decide to run this line 6, that is just X. And by that I mean I'll tell R execute X for me. So show me whatever is X. So if I click run here now, so you can see it executes on this console. So the console will show me 5. So this one here is what R uses to determine this is an output. So it shows our 1 is 5. Can I decide to also run the order here? I can just type X, enter. It showed me something 5. So I can execute my command either on this console or on the script. So let's run this. Let's run line 7. So line 7 is telling R to create an object called Y and save this character or this string John in it. So let's execute this. If I click run, you can see it has executed. So John is now saved. So if I tell it, oh yeah, tell me what is in Y, I'll now click run. So you see here, it now shows John. So another way to tell R to show you what's in something is to tell it print. You know, one thing with computer language is that there are usually several ways to achieve something. So you can use the print command to tell R to show something on the console. So I tell it print Y. If I should run this line of code, you know, it's still something that shows John. So are we clear so far about how to create objects in R? Like here, that's why we created 2 objects here. X that has 5 in it, and Y that has John in it. So I don't know if this is clear so far. Any questions or comments so far?
I'm sorry, I don't know. Maybe because my network was being crappy. So if I understand what you're saying now, this line 5, line 6, line 7, you had it written already. You haven't yet explained to us how to type a code.
Okay. All right.
And
so
okay, hello. Can I?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I can see hash sign, R tutorial, all this one. Is it necessary to do them? Can somebody start typing X maybe on 3, 4, or must it be 5, 6, 7? Thank you.
All right. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Another non coding related question. Please, how did you change from white background to black background? Because I don't like white background either.
Okay, good.
All right. Out where to find it. I'm not seeing it. Before I go and press what will destroy the whole thing.
All right. Okay, so let's start with the last question to change team. You go to tools, Then you go to global options. Let me click it. All right, so you can see what has just come up. Then we go to appearance. You can see appearance here. You can see RStudio team, Zoom, editor, text render, editor team, blah, 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 blah. So this is where, so you can see I'm using Vibrant ink. I'm using modern theme. So this is where you can change to anyone. Like if I change to sky, any difference? Okay. Modern. Well, it's I think it's more of here. Vibrant ink. I can move to SQL Server. I can see it has changed. I go to tomorrow night. So there are many themes you can change to. So let me go back to my Vibrant ink. So this is where you can change your theme. And once you're done, you can click your apply and OK, and it's all done. So there are many themes to choose from. As you can see, it's changing. So feel free to do that.
Thank you very
Then,
much.
okay. Then to create a script, because this script here is already created. So let me close it and create a new script. So you can come here where there is file. You click file, and then you click new file, or you point at it. Then you can see these are new things you can do with R. You can see that R can interact with C++, HTML, Python, Shell, SQL, a whole lot, because R has been expanded because it has a large community. So, but as I said, our concern on this one is R script. So just come here and click R script. And there's even a shortcut to it. You can press Control Shift N. Then, so let's click it. So this is a new script. Okay, so here we can type. You can write your lines of code or write your comments. So, let's write comments that we know will generate errors. Let's say, for instance, I am teaching R to my fellow HRH ZAD kids. Good. So now let me run this code. Let's see what will happen. If I click run, you can see it gives me an error message because this is not a language R understands. This is not an R code. So this is meant to be a comment. So I'm supposed to use a hash before it. So let me type hash. So you see, once I typed hash, you see the color has changed. Now let me run this code. If I click run, you can see down here, nothing showed. I would just bypass it, because it is saying it as a comment. And down here, where you see it between top level, if I click it, nothing happens. It shows no problem defined. But now, if I decide to put 1, 2, 3, watch now. Watch this place now as I type my fourth hash. So you can see this creates a section in R. So it creates a section in my script where, because sometimes when you begin coding deeply and you have a long line of code, it's difficult to shuffle through to go where. So, but with sectioning, you can easily go to different lines. Maybe I should show you some of my scripts that may be long. Okay. Which one? Okay, let me choose this one. So this is a long script that I prepared some time ago. And let me see if I have, okay, I didn't section this script. Let me look for anyone I may have sectioned. This one too, no section. But basically, I believe you understand what I'm saying. Okay, well, it's all about sectioning your scripts so that you can easily return to anyone you want to do. So, Dr. Gilbert question about whether you can start your line of code from. You can see I keep pressing enter. As I press enter, new line is generated. You can see I'm now in line 10. So I can decide to write a new code. So I can decide to create an object. Let's say, let me call that object Gilbert. And then I'll now put the less than sign, put the hash sign. These tests are that whatever I see now, save it into an object, Gilbert. So now let me create a string. So I'll now press to create a string in R. You must use the double apostrophe to create it. So now I can now type it. My name is Gil. So I'll now click run. So you can see on my environments, there is a string character created. It's titled "My name is Gil." So you can create your code from any line on the script. It all depends on how you want to run it. So R still knows it. As you can see here too, it was executed. If there was any error, you would have seen an error message. All right. So let's continue with the other scripts that I've already prepared. The R tutorial scripts. Okay. All right. So R has help functions, and the help is actually here on the output pane. So here you can find your files, plot packages, help. So here you can type anything that's you understand in R. If R has the answers, it will show you. For instance, now let's say I don't understand this print command. So I can either come here and tell R print. So it will give me the option it has. So I can click print. Then it brings out all it can tell me about the print command. Okay. Now, if you look closely here, there are two small buttons here. This is kind of minimize. This is maximize. So I can start to click this maximize to make it bigger. So it covers the environment pane so that I can see it in a longer way. So you can take your time to understand the various options you can code into this print command. So you take some time to read through this and understand it. And if you have questions too. So this tells you how much R can do. Like now with this print command, you can do much more with it than just tell it to print. You can put in other things like digits, get option, put other commands, which you may need time to understand them and code them properly. So another way to also use the help function is to code it into the script directly, or code it on whether on the script or on the console. Like here now, you can use help, and in brackets whatever command you want it to help you bring out is whatever. So maybe let's say I can say help. I'm talking on the console now. I can say help. Okay, let me say fonts. I don't know if there's any command called fonts. Let's see. Okay, you see now it says there is no documentation for fonts, 95 credit and libraries. So I can type any other maybe help for paste. I know that there's a command called paste. So you can see it has now shown me all I need to know about the command paste and how I can use it in R to code. So for this help, you can, instead of typing help, you can use the question mark instead. Just use question mark and then type whatever you want R to bring you a help function about. Or use the double apostrophe to put it in between. Okay. So so I put up a number of commands here that we can use to practice. So I don't know if we should take our time to describe all of this. We have barely 8 minutes left to 4:30. I didn't want to take us beyond 4:30, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do I leave this as something we can all take our time to execute and understand each of these things are written down for us to practice, so that maybe in our next class we can now maybe take questions and comments on all these commands for this starting tutorial, or do we take it up in the next class?
Me, I have a question, sir.
Okay.
Please, can you go back to, okay, for this your line 5.
Okay.
How did you type the arrow button after your X? You now typed the greater than or less than sign, and then a dash, and then you put 5.
Okay. Now let me repeat it. I will type it on my console, not on my script. What my console now? If you go to my environment, you can see X is saved in R as 5. Now I want to change this X now to 505. Now I will just type X. I can put space. I might decide not to put space. I don't really care whether you put space or not. I'll now put the less than sign.
Okay.
Then I put the hash or hyphen.
Okay.
So less than and hyphen. Then I now type what I want. I can not type 505. I can put space between or not. I can put no space here, or I may decide not to. I doesn't really care. And I cannot press my enter. So you can see now, X has changed from 5 to 505. So basically, this is called the assign command. So whatever is on the hyphen side is what R sees as something it needs to, calculate or take in to save in the other side that has the less than sign. Okay, we can decide to do it the other way around. I may decide to say, okay, calculate for me 87 plus 690 minus 65 times 5. Okay, and I'll tell it this answer. Don't just show me the answer, but save it in X. Now, see what will happen now. I'll now put my hyphen here. Then I'll now put a greater than sign. I'll tell it save it into X. Now I cannot press enter. So you can see X has changed to what? 497. So I now used, so the point is that the hyphen side is what R should use or compute. Then the less than that sign is what is pointed to R. Save it into this object. Create this object and save it, and save whatever is here into it. So now you can remember too that if I press up, it will show me my previous command. You can see it is changing. It's showing all I've been doing so far. And now I'm pressing down. So I might decide to tell R, okay, instead of saving it into X, just show it to me here on the console. I can now here press enter. Now it will show me 497, same as what you saved into X here. I can start to ask R, okay, what is X? I press enter. It's still something because it's already saved 497 into X. I don't know if I attempted your question, Doc.
Yeah, it's a bit clear. So what you're saying, if I get what you're saying, so you pre-typed that in your console, because why is it showing up in the environment? What do you call that upper pin?
Okay, you mean what precisely?
No, the X. If you check line 5 in this what's the name of this first pin on the left? Where this, yes, this
That's
line,
the script pane or console pane.
the script pane. Did you type it there first, or you just typed it in the console pane? Because I'm wondering, maybe because I didn't see you type this X arrow 5.
Yes, I didn't type it because I already prepared this
You was
script to use
prepared.
in this
Okay,
class.
okay.
Yes, so I just opened the script. It's there on the WhatsApp group. So I opened it to use for this class, so as to show us the basic functions that R can do. So I can type anything on this. I'll move this to line 7. I can start to type another thing. Maybe I will create a new object, maybe OP45. Yeah, I can now assign it maybe log 10. You can see one good thing about R is that RStudio also helps you with your coding. As you type a word it understands, it gives you options, that can go through with it. You can see can put up log 10, log 1p, log 2. So these are all commands. So as you type your commands, once you organize that command, it gives you all options that can or the commands that can flow with that with the words you are typing. Maybe I want to check log 10 of 5, 6, 5, 7, 8. I'm telling you to save this into the object called OP45. So I'll just come here and click run. So you can see it's run here without any error. And you can see the answer here shown.
Okay.
All right. So as I said, as you can see, if you watch my scripts pane, you can see various. I open many scripts. I can see these ones are blue in color, while these ones are white. The blue ones are the ones that I have not saved. Remember, because I made a change, I just typed this now. So this changed to blue with an asterisk means that I'm yet to save the changes I've made. So I can either come here and click. You can see save current document, or if it is something that I've not given a name. If I click save, it will ask me to give it a file name, for instance. So you see it will open my document for me to save it using it in any way I want and with any particular name I want to save it with.
Sorry. Huh?
All right, sir, go ahead, my prof.
So, prof, you are trying to tell me that whatever you do on this page, the answer comes to the environment.
Yes, it comes to the environment only when you save it into an object.
Only when you save it as.
Only when you save whatever you want to do in R into an object. Like here, I use OP45, X, and Y, and they were all become an environment. But everything you do shows in your console.
Your console. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
It's only the objects that shows in the environment.
Okay. All right. Thank you, prof.
Yeah, and I also forgot to mention about the history. Here if you click history, you can see everything we've done so far is here on the history. Everything that we've done on the console. Of course, the commands that executed from the script they went to console.
Dr. Hein,
Yes, please.
sorry to interrupt. Prof needs your attention. You and Dr. Chen.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So I think it's already 4:31. So I think we may need to stop here. Please, any other comments on this?
So what do you expect us to be practicing with? Just entering codes and writing things?
Yes, just understand the scripts that I sent. Try to see if you can execute all those codes. And I also put descriptions. As I put comments using hashes beside them, so that I try to explain them. So just go through the script, and yeah, I think that should be the assignments that you can do before the next class.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Hein.
Okay. Thank you all. So
Yeah,
see you next time. Thank you.
same time.